Dr. Kevin returns to Aquapaws to research how animals with loss of legs or the use of legs can be helped to enjoy a full and rewarding life. We are week 4 at puppy class, and we also call in on Emmy and her owners at home. First, we join in an emergency first aid class for pets with Dr. Kevin.
Welcome to our clinic today, guys. So my name's Dr. Kevin. I'm a vet, and I'm going to teach you guys today about a couple of things that you can do if your pet, your dog or cat, is faced with a pet emergency. The most important thing that you can do is call me or your local vet. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas or a couple of things that you can do at home, but you certainly need to give me a call so I can give you some advice. I'm going to teach you how to stop your pet from bleeding should they be injured either on their legs or from another part of their body. I'm also going to teach you how to clean out their eyes should there be any problems with an eye injury. Okay. Yes, question?
Why is there different coloured bandages?
This orange one with the smiley faces on it actually tastes really bad. Okay, so when we put it on dogs or cats' legs, the first thing a lot of dogs and cats will do is actually they'll want to chew it off. So this one actually has sprayed through it a really bitter tasting agent which actually stops them from licking at it. Well, it reduces the chance of them licking at it so that the compression and the bandage can stay on. The other reason they're coloured is, well, because they look good and dogs and cats look very cute when they've got different coloured bandages on. Another question?
Is there water in there?
Well, it's almost water. It in fact is what we call sterile saline. Sterile meaning it's very, very clean, it's got no bacteria in it. And saline meaning basically it's a type of salty water. Now we use this to help clean wounds and also to irrigate eyes. So some dogs or cats will injure their eyes or they'll hurt themselves what we'll need to do is help clean their eyes using this sterile saline. It's important that we use something like this and not just water in it because tap water has a few things in it which aren't as good for wounds and for eyes.
Let's practice.
This is my dog Macy. She's an 18-month-old Airedale Terrier, and I'm going to use her today just to show you how to do a couple of pet first aid things. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to clean out your dog or cat's eyes. Now, if Macy had a bit of a red eye, she was itching at it, one really effective thing to be able to do is just to give them a bit of a clean. Okay, really, really easy. I'm just going to squirt some saline directly into her eye. If she got any pollens or some dust in her eye, this is going to rub it right out. Good girl. And she doesn't mind one bit. Not hurting her. Just getting a bit of water in her eyes. There we go. Bit of saline. There we go. Good girl. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is actually how to bandage a leg. Now, the reason we'll bandage a leg with one of these pink bandages is if she had a wound or if she was bleeding. And these bandages, what they'll do is they'll provide compression to the wound so the bleeding stops. Okay, now these are really good, what we call cohesive bandages, so they actually stick to themselves and provide good compression for wounds. These can be easily obtained from your local veterinary clinic. So let's just say she's cut herself on this leg here. What we tend to do is then provide a little bit of bandage over the wound, and then we get a bandage like this, and it's really important that we then, the way I like to do it is start at the spot where the wound is and then go all the way down to her toes and then all the way back up to above where the wound is, okay? And see what I meant, Charlie, about pets looking good with pink bandages? She looks pretty good, doesn't she? Okay? So what I'd want you to do is if your dog did have a wound, provide a bandage like that so that you're able to control the bleeding until you can come and see me at the vet clinic. Now, the other thing I need to show you today is I've been very fortunate because Macy's a very good dog. She's obviously not in any pain because she doesn't have a wound there, but having some what we call conforming bandage or some elasticated bandage at home is a really effective way to actually put a little muzzle on a dog. If your dog's in a lot of pain, no matter how well behaved and how nice your dog is, if they're in pain, they actually might bite. So it's important, what you can do is create a little bow like this, and then you just pop it around their muzzle, put some pressure across, and then it can be tied to the back of her head, okay? So I think she's probably had enough of that. Okay, Macy, we're just going to turn you around the other way, just because I'm going to work on your other side. Good girl. There we go. We'll give her some treats. She's been a good girl, hasn't she? The next thing I'm going to do is just show you how to use an Elizabethan collar, okay? Now that is one of these plastic collars that can be used to stop our dogs from damaging themselves. Or our cats. You just get much smaller ones for a cat, obviously. Now, we place this over their head. Good girl, Macy. I'm not going to pretend she's going to like it. And then we use some conforming bandage, some elasticated bandage, or you can even use your dog's collar. The reason we do this is because some dogs and cats, if they're faced with an irritating eye or a wound on their belly or on their back, they can do a lot of damage by chewing or scratching at it. If we've got an itchy skin or itchy eye, we will be able to stop doing that, or we'll be told off by our parents. Now, with dogs, they obviously don't have that self-control, so we use the bucket to stop them from doing any further damage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get one of you guys to come up. I'm going to teach you how to put a bandage on a dog. So who wants to do that? Why don't Macy and Olive, why don't you come up? Onto there. Excellent. Macy. There we go. Good job. There we go. Right up. Keep going. Let's use the scissors. Okay, perfect. Bleeding stopped. Good job, guys. Now I'm going to need another 2 helpers. Okay, how about Charlie and Izzy? Do you want to come up? Perfect. Now we're going to open up the orange bandage and then pass it across to Izzy. You'll take that, and then we're going to go around the middle like that. Okay, Charlie, you want to keep doing that and then pass it to Izzy? Perfect. And there we go. Okay, so that's going to stem any bleeding from the wound there on her side. And she's nice and comfortable. Can't stay on for very long, but it will give you enough time to get to the vet and stop the bleeding, okay? Thanks, guys. Okay, and Sophie, I'll get you to use that. I'll hold Charlotte now. You're going to try and put a bandage. Good girl, Charlotte. Isn't she doing well? Sound good? Perfect, thanks, guys. Okay, guys, well, I think you've all done a really good job today. Hopefully, I've shown you what you can do to help your pet and your family out if you're faced with a bit of a pet emergency. Hopefully I've shown you a few things that you can be able to provide your pet should they have a small wound that you need to bandage or have an injury to their eye that you might need to clean. But I know that now that I've given you this information, you can certainly help your pets out should they need it.
Let's practice. Let's practice.
Each week, we follow a group of 5 puppies through puppy school and into adulthood. Our resident trainer, Chris Loverseed from Positive Canine Training, will take the puppies, and most of all their owners, through a series of exercises and training situations. The exercises they do will help socialise the dog and allow the handlers to have a basic level of command and control of their new pets. In our class, we have Kylie and her Bull Arab Buddy, Philia and her Cavoodle Elfie, brother and sister Kim and Sue Lee with their Shih Tzu Poodle cross Emmy, Steph and her Chocolate Labrador Strider, and Sally with her Old English Sheepdog Pirate.
Alrighty, so I'll get everyone's attention and we'll get started. So how's everybody been doing during the week? Break last week. Everyone do lots of training last weekend. Now, so obviously, I put a pretty big emphasis on the drop last week and really trying to cement it. How's everybody been going with that? Yes? Has anybody been getting their puppy to drop before they're being fed?
Yeah.
Yep, so been doing that?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, can anybody say they have a reliable drop yet? No, no one's got a reliable drop yet. So we'll work on the drop to start off with. So I'm going to come around, see how everyone's doing with it, give you little tips on how to improve it. And so everybody remember, the main sort of thing is make sure that every time you say drop that your puppy does drop. Because every time you say drop or down and they don't lie down, then the command's becoming weaker and it's losing its purpose. So have a real big emphasis on like motivating your dog so they get into position quickly and releasing them. You'll have a chance to break. Has anybody got any questions? Okay, we'll spread out a little bit, we'll get started, we'll start working on the drop.
Teach your puppy to drop by guiding them gently with one hand on their back and lure them into the right position with a treat and then reward. The next stage is just using a treat with a hand gesture. Eventually, you can phase out the treat and the body movement, and your puppy will be able to perform the drop on command.
Let's practice.
So we're at Emmy's home with Kim and Sue Lee. She's doing great at puppy school. How's everything doing here?
She's doing quite well. She's pretty good at home, but there are a few issues when she's around us. When we come home from work, she's always usually quite excited and jumps on us.
Okay, now what's really important is the way you act when you come home. So what do you do when you first walk in the door?
Usually give her a bit of a pat, then put us bags down, then probably play with her for a couple of minutes or so.
So you're pretty excited when you say hello to her and all those sort of things, have a little bit of a high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
So you have to work out, in the dog's head, every time you come home, she gets heaps of reinforcement, pats and all those sort of things. So it becomes very exciting to her. So for her, someone coming through the front door, it's a trigger to get really anxious and really jumpy and excited. So what I'll be doing is whenever I come home, I'll ignore her for about 5 minutes until she calms down. So because the more you come home and give her pats and play with her straight away, it keeps on reinforcing that behaviour. Okay, so anything else?
Also getting her to come or respond to come has been a little bit tricky, especially if she's in the garden and if we want to get her to come into the house, and she does on occasion ignore us, especially if she's doing something more interesting outside.
Okay, so have you been practicing outside of what we've been doing at puppy school with teaching a puppy how to come?
More so inside than we have outside.
Okay, so I'm assuming she comes more reliably inside as well then?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, outside you're going to have to do a little bit more training with it. We've been practicing at class, but we can definitely go outside, do a bit more work so we can fine tune it a bit. So you just want to show me what's happening, and so can you call her away from this sort of situation here?
Yep.
I don't know if we could. Emmy, come.
Good, heaps of praise, heaps of praise. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I'll be going back and keep her on a lead for a little bit, so that way she can't run off and get too excited. Because what you saw just then, she came back to you, came within a little inch, and she takes off. So I've got a little extendable lead here that we can use.
Come, pup.
Okay, so we can see. So we can see Emmy's pretty distracted now. So all we do is we use the lead to be able to call her back. So Emmy, pop, come. Good. So that way we can make sure that when we do call her, she's coming back to us.
Yeah.
So we don't have her on a lead. She keeps on rehearsing behaviour of that when we say come, you don't have to listen. So to start off with, I'll be doing maybe one session a day for the next couple of weeks. Just keeping her on a sort of longer lead. And so that way, whenever you call her when you're outside, you can call her towards you. I want to start playing a little game which is going to help you with this recall issue you're having. So, because assuming most of the time, what problem you're having is Emmy's down in the backyard and you're up there and you can't call her back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, now what I want to do is I want to start switching it up a little bit. I want to start playing a game that we call tennis recall. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to have one of you standing up here near the door, the other person standing down here, and you'll be calling Emmy backwards and forwards. So that way Emmy starts getting into the habit and the behaviour of always running up here when you say come. So this one here, Emmy's going to be off lead, so she's a little bit more free, she's got a little bit more choice, but we're going to entice her quite a bit to want to go backwards and forwards. That's all right, so as soon as you're ready, call her.
Emmy, come.
Good, heaps of praise as she comes towards you.
Good girl, Emmy, good girl.
Perfect.
Emmy, come.
Heaps of praise as she comes towards you.
Good girl, Emmy. Good girl. Good girl, Emmy.
Good.
Finish.
Emmy, come. Good girl, Emmy. Good girl. Good.
So make sure you say come when you call her towards you as well.
Yeah, sorry.
Emmy, come.
Good, heaps of praise as they come towards you.
Good girl, Emmy. Good girl.
So what we're trying to do now, we're trying to create a response in the dog's head that whenever they hear the word come, they can't help but come start running towards you. So now as soon as you're ready, call Emmy now.
Emmy, come.
Good.
Good girl.
Because the more of a dog
Good
gets rewarded for the behaviour, the stronger it becomes.
Right.
So if we keep on doing this, the dog gets rewarded every single time, it's much more likely to occur. Okay, so I could see before, when you're calling Emmy towards you, you went to give her pats and praise around her head, she was a little bit jumpy and a little bit nervous of it. Is that a common sort of thing? Does that happen with other people as well?
Yeah, so if she's really excited and somebody goes to pat her on the head, she tries to turn around and bite them or just have a bit of a nip at them.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see there she's a little bit, as soon as the hand went over, she's a little bit shy of her hand.
Yep.
So what I'll be doing, I'll be working on an exercise of just getting her used and having her think that having people pat her on the head is a really good positive experience. So I'm just going to call Emmy over here. Emmy, come. Good. Recall work paid off before. Yep. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'll show you quickly. It's just, I'm going to go pat her head, give her a treat. And so that way, after a while, we're going to start putting our hands up and all those sort of things, making bigger gestures as she gets used to it. So do what I want. So Emmy, up, up, up. Just going to put my hand up, give her a treat. My hand up, give her a treat. So that way she starts to see my hand coming over as not being so much of a bad thing.
Yeah.
And because in a dog's head, the more they rehearse that behaviour backing away, they think that's really keeping them safe, and they think that is something to worry about. So we really have to change our emotional mindset.
Yeah.
So I'll give you some little treats. I just want to call Emmy towards you.
Emmy, Emmy.
Let's make her sit.
Sit, Emmy, sit.
Good.
Good girl.
Oh.
Emmy, sit, Emmy, sit. Emmy, sit.
Good. So have your hand underneath and put your other hand over the top as you give her a treat. Good.
Girl, Emmy. Good girl, Emmy.
Let's practice. Let's practice.
This is Misha. She's a 10-year-old English Springer Spaniel. She's a very active and energetic dog and enjoys the garden or park. She loves to run and is pretty fast. But can you notice something unusual about her? She lost her hind left leg in a car accident 2 years ago. She has adjusted well and leads a normal, active life. We're now off to Aquapaws to see how other animals cope with the loss or use of limbs.
So we're here at Aquapaws with Joe, a canine rehabilitation therapist, and Ian, who is the owner of Leo, a collie who unfortunately has degenerative myelopathy. How long have you been seeing Leo for, Joe?
I've been seeing Leo probably for a couple of months now.
Okay.
He actually uses the underwater treadle hydrotherapy to keep his muscle mass on his back legs and keep him as mobile for as long as possible. And today we're actually going to fit him out with a wheelchair.
Excellent. So Ian, living with a dog with a disability, he has degenerative myelopathy. How long has he been living with that for?
Probably about 6 months.
6 months, and he's been progressively getting worse?
Unfortunately, he's really getting worse, unfortunately.
Degenerative myelopathy for dogs like Leo and other dogs is a condition that's not dissimilar to MS, so it is something that they slowly get worse, they slowly become more disabled, and moving into a wheelchair is an inevitability. There are some other training or disability aids that may help in the interim. Have you used these boots that Joe has made up?
Yes, he has used his boots, he likes his boots. They do help his, particularly his foot and scuffling.
So how do these work, Joe?
With his condition, they lose the feeling in their back feet.
Yep.
And these, when they drag their paws on the ground, they can actually open up great big sores. And these actually stop that from happening.
Oh, wow.
So we just slip them on.
Degenerative myelopathy is a condition that's not painful, but I imagine if he starts opening up sores in his feet, that would start causing some discomfort. So these sorts of boots would certainly improve his quality of life.
Well, he loves wearing his boots.
Excellent.
We also have lifting harnesses, which make it a bit easier on the owner's back.
Of course.
As it progresses, they lose more and more mobility, and this just helps the owner pick them up.
Okay.
Take them outside.
So how does this work?
Pop it around underneath his belly.
So Ian, you would use something like this if you were moving him in and out of the car, in and around the house at certain times, if he was having difficulty. It certainly looks very comfortable and easy to use.
Washable.
Excellent. Perfect. Well, let's move him into the chair. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he reacts and see how he tolerates it.
I haven't had one of these before, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Good boy.
Perfect. It certainly seems to fit very well. Joe, is this something that you've had to make specifically for him?
We've made it based on his measurements.
Yep.
Which Ian sent to us. Actually quite a good fit.
Excellent. Love to see him moving. I'm not sure how he'll go the first time he's stepped into one, but let's see how he goes.
Leo. Leo. Up, Leo. Come on, Leo. Good boy. Leo. Come on.
Come on, Leo.
Come on, Leo.
A little bit of encouragement there, Joe.
Get him on the
Come
dirt.
on, Leo.
Good boy.
Good boy, Leo.
Come on.
Leo. Come on.
There we go. Good boy. Excellent.
Come on, Leo. Good boy.
Oh, treat there for the end, hey? Good man. Good boy.
Probably watch wonders.
Come on, matey.
Let's practice.
So we've got Katrina and her wonderful pug, Brandy, here. Brandy's confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah.
How old's Brandy?
Brandy's 13.
Excellent. And how recently has she been in the wheelchair?
She's been in the wheelchair for about 12 months. Yeah.
What led to her being in the wheelchair?
She's got disc disease.
Okay.
She's got 3 lesions in her spine.
Yep.
So she's started off with partial paralysis, and that
Yep.
has progressed further on
Yep.
to no longer having use of her hind legs.
Okay, and obviously while she was partially paralysed and then led to complete paralysis, her quality of life was obviously quite severely affected.
Yeah, yep. She was unable to get around the house
Yep.
as much, and unable to play with the other dogs in the house.
Yep.
And then since getting the wheelchair, it's like a new dog.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. I've never seen a little dog look so happy.
Yeah.
She seems to get around in the wheelchair with relative ease, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
yep, yeah. It's no drama for her from the first day we put it on her. You know, there was no training required. We just put it on, and she was running up and down the hallway.
Fantastic. So, other owners out there may be in a very similar situation. Is there a lot to think about before putting our dogs in a wheelchair in regards to the amount of care that's required, in regards to other circumstances, in regards to their bladder health and their toileting issues?
Yeah, well, obviously Brandy requires a lot of attention because she's a disabled dog. She's always supervised when she's in the wheelchair, and she needs toilet breaks every few hours.
Yes.
And she needs to be taken outside and have her bladder expressed.
Yep.
And she's in a nappy, obviously, now.
Yes.
And obviously a lot of time and effort goes into looking after a dog in a wheelchair, but it's very rewarding. So.
It is. I mean, she's such a happy little dog. Without this sort of piece of equipment, her quality of life was obviously quite severely affected.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, now she seems like a very happy dog. And we always said that we'd give up when Brandy gave up, and she hasn't gotten to that point. She's not even, she hasn't got near it. So
certainly doesn't seem that way. It fits her very well. There's a lot of padding there. Are there any concerns with sores developing or anything like that?
I don't think so. She's only in it for sort of a couple hours, you know, a maximum at a time, and then she's taken out, and she gets tired because she exerts herself in it. And then she'll have a rest in her bed, and then she'll go back in it. So obviously you can't leave them in it for too long because they'll get sore. But you know, and her fitness has gotten up to a point that she can run around.
Yeah,
now.
she certainly seems that way. And I think that it's very important to take away from meeting you today, as well as Brandy, that these sorts of conditions, although can be very serious and painful at times, in some families and in some dogs, their quality of life can be improved significantly by the use of an aid like this. So I certainly would like other owners, if they have dogs, disabled dogs like Brandy, to seek out wheelchairs or other sorts of implements that will improve their dog's quality of life.
Yeah, I mean, Brandy, I don't think knows that she's disabled when she's in her wheelchair.
It certainly doesn't seem that way, does it?
No.
Excellent. Thanks, Katrina. It's been really nice to meet you.
It's all right.
Thanks, Brandy.
Yeah.